Greetings, dears. Better. All right. July. Big month. So, around the time of the solstice, you had some pretty big changed energy coming through. What all have you noticed? Anything?
We're going through the washing machine.
Going through the washing machine. I'm not so certain that's new, though.
Heavy-duty washing machine.
And more of your world. I'm going to get this as a pretty mixed up statement here. More of your world is going to be unable to avoid seeing it. I think that's just too many words. Most of your world's going to see it as well. And that's a big change. And to those of you who were in Bolivia, can you explain why most of the world will feel that change? What would it mean? I'll give you a hint. Do you need one? Has to do with frequency. You want more hints? All right, I'll just tell you. Whatever the energy frequency happens to be, you are attracted to it, you recognize it, you note it only if you are at a like frequency. Otherwise, it just passes through and you don't notice. Wow, the whole world changed yesterday. Oh, really? Now, sometimes not noticing it is a really good thing. Sometimes not noticing it is not so good because it means you're not going to be able to prepare yourself for the energy changes or to best make use of the energy changes, whatever they might be directed toward. When the whole world is recognizing an energy transmission, it's going to be because of any of the above. It's such a powerful transmission that everybody in the world needs to get it. Or it's directed toward everybody in the world. Or the world has become so high frequency that these high frequency transmissions are just hitting everybody. Soon, not yet. And I'm sure there are multiple other reasons as well, but essentially, the solstice, and continuing on for another 3 weeks, that big slam of energy this year was about, well, I've been saying put up or shut up. The firm told me that it's not put out or shut out. But it's stand up, pay attention, or sit down and go away. And the world is standing up and paying attention. How are you seeing that in your world?
We've seen that in a variety of ways recently with the Canadian House of Commons denounced Trump for his actions and his communication style. That's a standing up to what was not working from a place of wholeness. And I think we're seeing, with the immigration problems that we're seeing right now and the way that we have divided families, it's touching people's hearts in almost every arena, I think. They're, not all, but widely. And it's something that so many people can be in touch with, and they are standing up and they are saying, this is not right, this is not us, it does not represent us. And there are organizations coming together to help those who are the recipients of that type of detention. There are cities who are suing the federal government here, and the world is watching this, and they're standing up.
Just in Bolivia, they were having student protests while we were there, and they're standing up and they're trying to have their voice heard, and lots of younger people are doing that. They're trying to stand up and have their voice heard and hopefully be making changes.
Nice, nice. What are you seeing in your world? Hi.
There's been a big pushback in India against rape and brutality. Women are standing up. Women are now driving in Saudi Arabia. There's a huge pushback against immigration mandate about separating families at the border, and that's now been reversed somewhat. But people are pushing back and pushing for change, especially, I think, women.
I would say that the common theme at this point is stand up, speak out. And that's really, really good. What are you seeing in Asia? What are you seeing in Africa? What are you seeing in Eastern Europe? What are you seeing in Indonesia, Australia? I'm getting you out of the real obvious spots. What are you seeing in your world?
Well, this has been going on for a little while, but in China, they're protesting and trying to teach about not eating dogs.
Good.
I've seen an increase in the women's liberation movement across the world, which is good.
Divine feminine waking up. Absolutely.
I think there's a real awareness going on now between an old way, prejudiced way of thinking as completely not acceptable. And there's a big pushback on both sides now. It's once you described it, it's like a tiger, having a tiger that was fighting, holding him by the tail to see if it was going to happen or not.
Nice.
I think women in Saudi Arabia are now able to drive.
Stephen mentioned that. Yes, yes. What was going on? Well, some of you will not be able to relate to this at all because you're too young, but many of you can. What was going on 50 years ago?
What did you say?
50.
50 years ago. Hippies.
Civil rights movement.
Yep.
That's the energy you're dealing with. That is exactly bringing back around revolution. Yes. And revolution can be a great thing. And what you're going to be finding out in July is what you find it worth revolting about. Almost said it's going to be about what you find revolting, but that wasn't quite it, was it? But on the other hand, it actually kind of is. What do you feel strongly enough about cause you to act. Now, on any given day, there are 1,000 things that cause you to act. You're moving forward, you're going to take another step. You are constantly making decisions, aren't you? But when we talk about the energy of revolution, and we are discussing the actions that come up about that, it's a whole different level of thinking than what am I going to eat for dinner tonight? Am I going to go and pick up the mail now? Revolution has requirements. Now, I want you to put yourself in the place of planning the perfect revolution, all right? Now, this revolution of yours could be for any number of things. Maybe it's for the purpose of making you emperor of the world. That's fine. You already rule your universe, so add it all in there. Perhaps it is you want to bring about change in a certain cause. Perhaps you simply want to bring about change within yourself, and it's a personal revolution. But what do you need to do? What are the steps to creating a revolution? Frank?
You need to know what you want rather than what you don't want.
Good, good. To be successful, you need to know what you want. Not simply know all the things you do not want.
You need to have a vision.
And I'm going to put the two of those together, because your vision should actually contain what it is you want. As a manifestation principle, the positive function of your thoughts, your words, your deeds all go with that intent. When you can put all four of those together, you're going to have a much faster manifestation of whatever it is you are working on. Do you need to have confidence? Do you need to have your plan worked out one by one? Do you need to have a lot of stamina? What do you need?
Driving passion.
Driving passion, yes. And I'm going to again put that in with that intent section, because the driving part of the passion is because you know where you're going, you know what it is you want, you know what you're after, and you're really working on it. Paula?
You need to be willing to take action.
You need to be willing. You need to be willing to take action, but you actually need to be willing to take something else. It's that horrible R word. Risk, responsibility, yes. You need to be willing to take responsibility, which puts you at risk. To lead a revolution, you must be willing to be responsible for your intent, for your vision, for your thoughts, for your words, for your deeds. You must be willing to take responsibility. Stephen.
I think you have to be an effective communicator to share your vision and to inform people about why change is needed. And it helps a lot to be organized in your thinking so that you have steps and can bring people together in a way that's purposeful.
Good. A good communicator, but at least able to communicate well enough for that passion to be shared. And then something few think about. Stephen pointed out that it also helps if your thoughts are organized in such a way that others can understand what you're saying. How many revolutions have come and gone that you've never ever heard about? Well, I guess with a question like that, I could answer, 1,000,000 every day. For lack of communicating that idea. And the reason you want to communicate it is because every revolution needs people. And really, that's number 2, right after the intent vision. You need people. But Samuel, I thought it was one by one we were going to change this world. All you need is one, if not me, who, right? And that's perfect for a personal revolution. But if you want a worldwide revolution, you need worldwide individuals working with you for that change. Vital. You need others. So a quick question to you, revolutionaries. What is your intent, your vision for your life? And because that's a pretty far-reaching thing for some, how about for this coming month? What is it you want to do, to be, to experience, to live? And is that a departure from last month and the month before and the month before? Because if it's not a departure, you're going to have exactly the same kind of month. So what is it you want to do to revolutionize July? How do you want to change the world this month? Many, many people in this world will say they don't desire to change the world, but they want to see the world positively changed. Really. And think about that. You may have said the same thing yourself. I want to see positive change in this world. But that's a world of difference from saying, I want to be a part of, I want to create positive change in this world. If you don't say it, the universe won't play it, really. So what is it you want to revolutionize your world in July? Your vision, your intent is all about bringing into this world the love that you are here to live. Your compact, your purpose is all about functioning as a guardian in this world. At this time of transition, to bring in something new. But what are the personalities' wants? The skin you're in, what does it want? How can it take part in revolutionizing your world? The second big thing that was needed was others. Once you figured out how you are going to create change in this world, in your world, what are you doing to create your band of merrymakers? What are you doing to ensure that there are others that want to listen to you? And this is more than do you have friends, do you have social networks? It's asking if you have people who will listen to you. Some revolutionary leaders really were not good communicators. But they were such dynamic, charismatic individuals that they were able to draw to them those who could do the communicating. Can you do that? Are you trying to do that? At this time of transition, and interestingly enough, the transition is a whole lot like going back to the decade of love. What was it called?
The 60s.
It was called the 60s, the summer of love. There you go. This energy is very much that of the summer of love. Hello, dear. Oops. What were you doing 50 years ago that you can bring back now? Now, having said that, I want to let you know that I actually realize that most of you were very small children at that point. Some of you were just a thought. Nevertheless, what do you know about that time? What do you think about that time? And I ask that because what you remember or what you have studied and learned to remember is based upon your personal perception. You remember this activity or that paragraph in the book because you relate to it somehow. So what is it you remember about the 60s, the early 70s?
It was a time when I had taken on the responsibility of marriage and children. And what I really wanted to do was be a hippie. I really wanted to be a part of that. But I had decided to do other things. And I think watching it and absorbing it and doing in little small ways, little things that brought that into my life was all I could do. But I really wanted to be a hippie, just missed the whole thing.
I'm not so sure about that.
I was organizing, actually there were sit-downs at our school to protest some of the restricting rules that were enforced particularly upon girls and women at our school. And I attended anti-war rallies and I got involved in writing for an underground newspaper and all that.
Interesting.
I wasn't born, but what I think it was about was standing up for freedom and standing up for love is my impression of what it was about.
I was in grade school, but I would sneak into the radio and go down to CKLW, Motown, Detroit.
Oh, yes.
And I was Motown.
Oh, yes.
Love that. Claudia?
In 1968, I was 18. I graduated from high school and went to college, which was a big step for a homebody person who was very shy. And I was trying to make sense of the world as people were protesting the war and women were everybody was trying to have rights, so people who hadn't had rights. And then watching two national figures be assassinated. Yeah. And then watching Georgetown College have its first dance ever, and the Southern Baptist Convention threatening to withhold funding because it was so revolutionary. It was a big awakening for me. And it was putting together all of this stuff that didn't make sense with all of this, well, here's how we could do it instead. This hope and this groups of people working to change things. And it was, the 60s were the most interesting, exciting, unbelievable years of my life.
Interesting. So, where I'm going with this is translate this into part of your vision for this coming month. The shifts in consciousness, the things that brought about change, the attitudes, it was not the only time that your country and your world, but particularly your country, led the way in massive change of thought. And it's not going to be the last time that happens. But that was truly the shot heard around the world. That time, that energetic resonance is happening right now. What do you want? What don't you want? How can you use what you want out in the world? How can you change the world with what you want? Change takes a wide view, but it happens in the small view. Now, that wasn't a wildly powerful brand new truth to put out there just now, but it is a reminder. The idea of revolution on its own can be quite a destructive direction. But a focused revolution, using that energy to bring about positive change, is absolutely what's needed right now. But that positive change must show up in you. Put up or shut up is about your spiritual path, even more than what you want to do to revolutionize this world. It's really time to stop talking the talk alone but to put feet on it. If you're not willing to lead, step back so those who can will. If you're not going to fulfill your compact, if you're not going to function at your best and highest, if you're not going to guard and guide life force, if you're not going to move out of your humanity to be a function of light in this world, stop fooling yourself and step back. Because this world needs change. It doesn't need massive audiences. It doesn't need every internet trick on the book. It needs a few people who get it. A few people not only willing to live the love, but to be a responsible visionary for the world with that love. July is going to show you, so hold on to your seat because here comes that part. July is going to show you how you lie to yourself. So I hope for your sake that you don't. July is going to show you what you don't like in yourself. So I hope for your sake you have made peace with you. July is going to show you what you could be doing with your life if you didn't get in the way, and every one of you want that. It is a month of opportunity. It is a month of leadership. It is a month of vision. It is a month of revolution, inside and out. from the solstice to about 20 to 23rd-ish of July. And then until September, at the equinox and the next massive transmission, you're going to be dealing with, ideally, the positive that you've brought out of this coming month. Lead with love. Choose love. It will not fail you. What is the loving thing? What is the most loving thing I can do in this situation? That's the tattoo you get. What is the most loving thing I can do? And that's the answer to everything that comes up. A surprisingly wonderful Stargate working. Just happened. You're still feeling it. I said that I would have an answer perhaps at the first Sunday to this question. The question is, should we still be sun gazing, Samael? Yes. But you're very, very likely to find that it's a very different experience in good ways. So be careful. If you've not been doing it, start over, because you have a much stronger punch coming your way now. All right, I'm out of here. Lagi numero. Good luck with July.